Definitely.
Curious Glimmer Root.
Oh my god,
Look
that
top
art.
3. Look 3 constituents start in your opponent's deck. Card's hilarious. I think it's pretty solid.
Me too.
You
It's I
know,
think that it's gonna be kind of obvious most of the time.
yeah, most of the time it should be pretty clear. A card like this being around is kind of almost a funny reason to use like a stupid card, just to like get them sometimes.
Don Honcho.
Priest, yeah, Priest isn't like hankering for a good 3 draw because it has the 3/4.
That's true.
Cabal Talon Priest, but this card is, I think like at least 75% of the time you should be able to get that card. So it replaces itself. It could be a really good card.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know. I think it mostly won't be played just because the 3 slot's already filled.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
Gluttonous Ooze. Now, on the other
Oh
hand,
my god. This
on
guy.
the other hand, if you
Or
want
not.
a card that counters Pertates, this is the muchacho that you want to give your De Niro.
Yeah, when I was just like reading cards, I was scanning them really quickly, and I just like had to go back and read this one again because it's insane.
The double take.
It is gross.
You're like sitting there, you have like food next to you, but you're not eating any, and you like put some in your mouth and
Spit it all over my computer screen.
What?
This card's disgusting.
Arcanite Reaper, I hardly know her, but I'd love to know her by drawing 6 cards if they played Upgrade. Oh, that's wonderful news.
Well, you're not drawing cards, but
No. And get
Yeah.
armor. Get more armor, whatever it is. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll take
I mean,
anything.
that's yeah, right. It's still really insane because I mean, Acidic Swamp Ooze is pretty mediocre, and part of the reason it's mediocre is because of its stats. And this is like just better stats. It's a little better later, and you get something for destroying their weapon too. Like it's just all upside. This guy is so good.
Dude, this Ooze has got his game face on. Look at him.
Yeah, look at
Acidic Swamp Ooze is like a soft, like he looks like like you're gonna eat like a clam or an oyster. Like just the most defenseless organism you can imagine, like a slug. And this guy's ready to go.
Oh yeah, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
so awesome. I love
Acid
this
Ooze
guy.
got some arrows sticking out. This guy's got a dino in his tummy.
This is another thing that like sort of says to me more than anything, Reno decks, Singleton decks can continue to live. Control decks in general can continue to live.
Yeah, cards like this definitely.
Living Mana.
What do you think of this guy?
It's really funny. I'm curious
I
what
love the
happens
art.
when you have 8 or more crystals. I'm hoping you get to keep the excess, but I don't really know. It's a cool way to mana excel with the Rivern guy.
Oh, Baron Rivendell, that's so funny.
Rivendell.
I never even thought of
Or
that.
just like Nazoth, just like bring these idiots back.
You could just like find cards that destroy your mana crystals for value and just get them back in Nazoth. That's pretty silly.
Yeah, you can play a deck with no minions except for Nazoth and then get back a full board with Nazoth every time.
It's neat. I don't know if it's gonna see play, but it's cool.
I mean, let's see, you get 5 2/2s for 5 mana. That's a 10/10 for 5. That's pretty damn good.
10 for 5's good.
But like any wrath, like any spell damage in Maelstrom Portal wrecks you.
Or your opponent's a priest and they play Master Spell, and you just like quit. You just like delete your account. That's just it.
That's hilarious. It's like you play the World Gorger Dragon, and then they're like, alright, now sacrifice your World Gorger Dragon. They like stifle. You're like AFK. And you're like, you're sitting across from me, you can't AFK.
I need to go use the bathroom.
And you just go out and like get in your car and drive away. Leave your deck. Alright, Living Mana, probably meh. Probably
Still,
sell
yeah,
in the
man.
arena. Because you could just like trade the guys and be ready to go the next turn.
Yeah.
The issue though The main thing that makes the card bad is that the crystal's empty. So next turn, if all 5 survived, let's say you play a turn 5, you're not going to really have any mana that turn. It's sort of like you got overloaded for 5.
Oh yeah, that's painful.
Assuming
I didn't
they
realize
lived.
That. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking at a copy of the Mana Trent now, and it does say an empty crystal.
Hmm.
And in spite of the text on Wild Growth, I'm sure you don't get an Essence of Mana when this guy dies. Just because that's how they work. Anyway, next card is Vile Spine Slayer. 5 mana, 3/4 Man-Eater Bug.
Oh boy, Man-Eater
Combo
Bug.
destroy a minion. Card's pretty solid. I think this card also makes me think of Reno strategy, actually. But that, I guess, isn't relevant to Standard. I think it's an okay card. Amazing in Arena. What do you think?
Yes, yeah. I think in Arena it's really good. I think 5 is a little steep for a combo card.
Yeah.
Especially because like around the turns where you really need something dead, or it's going to be that 4 to 6 range, and like I mean if any class can combo this on even before turn 5, it's Rogue because they have counterfeit coin and stuff like that. But even then, I don't know if the payoff is really enough to go through all that trouble because then you just like killed something and got a 3/4 for 5 mana. I don't know if that's really worth it.
Yeah, like you'd rather like you're just like. But, like, you're losing Conceal. Like, I don't know how Rogue's going to work with that Conceal, honestly.
I think that hurts the class a lot. I think it hurts Miracle strategies a lot. I think that other aggressive strategies survive.
Yeah. It's just, like, I feel like that's normal Rogue.
Yes, I agree.
Is Miracle Rogue with Conceals, so...
Yeah.
If you're going to have to... What's that?
Go on. No, you finish.
If you're gonna have to go with like aggro things and maybe, playing Shadow Steps or something that's gonna make this card better is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And play a grindier game.
Just want to play Assassin's Blade.
Oh my god, I would love to do that with the 4 mana 5/4 pirate.
Oh, Naga.
An extra attack, just like boom. Take that, True Silver Champion. More like True Silver lame person. Alright, Next card is Volcanosaur.
Arena.
Battle Cry. Adapt. And then after you finish adapting, please adapt again. I think this card's really good.
I think it'll be good in Arena.
Yeah, you don't really... It really doesn't probably have a place in the competitive... scenario, except like I don't know. I mean, it's a beast. Like 2 shots that maybe in a taunt. I don't know. It could be an interesting pick as a beast in Curator.
I think I okay. That's a good point.
But that's like the main spot, really the only spot. Or Bart, you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Check out this cuteness. You're playing Hunter. You play like 2 cards that give a beast in your hand +2/+2, and then you play this, and it adapts, and you're like, oh, stealth, that seems good, and you stealth it, and you're like, oh, Wind Fury, that seems good, and then you just have a 9-power Wind Fury stealth.
That's good.
All right, so it's probably not going to be good enough, but.
Well, you can adapt into can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. That's pretty cool.
That's true. That plus like Divine Shield is pretty invulnerable.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is just you're in Christmas land when you're thinking about this card, but in Arena, I do think it'll be good. Yeah.
Definitely Arena, it's insane.
Yes.
But sometimes you're looking for like more good beast action at the higher end, and there really isn't that much. Like Stranglethorn Tiger's like really the top. So I think this guy could potentially fill that role for Curator. But the absence of Azure Drake really hurts Curator. So
yes.
I don't know how that's going to be. Mana Bind. So your opponent cast spell, add a copy of your hand that costs 0. This card is really cool.
I think it's not very good.
It's definitely like not particularly good. but it's neat.
Yeah, it's like it's like a tempo card, but you don't really get to choose what you're getting, and you're not likely getting something that's going to develop a threat. And this is kind of just something like 1 mana, something like 3 mana, draw a card eventually. I don't know. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't really want to play it ever because it's not really good. But
Yeah.
it's cool the card exists.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
and one cool thing about it is it helps illustrate why Mirror Entity is good. It's because with Mirror Entity, your minion is going to be able to attack
Yeah.
the turn you have it, and their guy that they just paid for, they're going to have to wait to get anything out of the card they paid for. Mana Bind, on the other hand, they are getting what they paid for immediately, so the fact that you get to play it for free immediately on your turn, you're still just as behind as you would have been, so it doesn't put you ahead. Mirror Entity can put you ahead of them.
Yeah.
And this can't. So that's why, even though the effects are similar, I'd agree with you. This card's not very good. While Mirror Entity is actually very good.
Yes.
Mirage Caller. Battle card. Choose a friendly minion. Summon a 1/1 copy of it. Really cool.
I haven't seen this guy. This is sweet.
Really, really cool. Great with your death rattle guys.
Yeah.
Even like a Nordshire cleric could be cute with. A lot of really cool things you can do with this, actually.
Well, like you were saying, the 3 slot is good in priest. So that could be, and then I mean you get things like Gluttonous Ooze. So
Yeah, but this is something you play on like turn 7 or 8 to just like make something stupid happen.
that's true.
Like with one of your other minions.
Like Sylvanas in Wild or like Sludge Belcher. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something in Standard that would be really silly to do it with. But I think mostly his potential with N'Zoth giving you extra death rattle stuff. Like there's even the 1-mana guy. Like playing him with the 1-mana guy is fine. And it'll count towards your quest. As far as I know. Because let's say summon a 1/1 copy, so you're summoning a minion that is death rattle. And that's what the quest says, so I think that this guy could actually accelerate your quest as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet.
So if you want, instead of playing a new Death Rattler, you could copy one of your Death Rattle effects.
Mm.
And, you know, if you get a 1/1 and a 2/3 for 3, that's a 3/4, which is very good for 3. 2 mana, Corrupting Mist. Corrupt every minion, destroy that start your next turn. Very interesting card. Very good, I think. Better in Arena. Better in Arena than in Standard.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But this is a very interesting board wipe effect, and a very cheap one.
Yes, that's what's so tantalizing about it.
Yeah.
And what's cool that separates from Doomsayer, not only can it not be stopped after you played it, you could play it and then play a bunch of minions, and those aren't going to get killed. You wouldn't want to do that usually, because you don't want them to be able to trade their guys.
Yeah.
But you could like Corrupting Mist and then like play a stealth minion.
Yeah.
And it's much more devastating, and it's something you couldn't do with Doomsayer. It seems like it could be really good. I don't know.
I think it can be strong. It kind of, I don't know. It's a board wipe effect, so it's worth keeping your eye on it. You know, it's not random; it's guaranteed.
Yeah, there's like no getting around it.
Yeah.
Lost in the Jungle. So this
Oof.
is a 1 mana for 2/1s. I feel like with Quartermaster it could have been good, but for the most part, it's not that good.
I mean, I think if there's a little bit of the Ground Paladin deck, this might be in it, depending on how deep it is into hand buffing.
Yeah. Oh, right, but it would miss out on that, so.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing that was really disappointing. I was really looking forward to seeing good ones in Paladin, and then they gave us this, which is a good one. This is Alley Cat, right? But it doesn't get hit by hen buffs, so it's really like kind of missed the point.
Yeah,
You
Alley
can't
Cat would
silver
have been
hen.
way better.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't small time recruits for it, but Alley Cat's a good card, and I think that this might do it. I don't know. Depends.
It works with the 3-mana guy that gives Divine Shield.
That is true.
Or is that
Absolutely.
rotating?
Let's find out. I have my collection open right
Like
now.
Darkshire or something, or...
Yeah, Steward of Dark Schniggles. Whisper of the Old Gods.
Nice, we got him. So that's cool 4-mana combo. Molten
Absolutely.
Blade. I think this is a warrior 1-mana, like, it's almost like Shifter Xeris.
Shifter Xeris, yeah.
Probably bad, but maybe not. I don't know. Like, some weapons are really good. Like, if it becomes a Fiery War Axe, like, awesome.
Yeah, it's I think it's probably not good in constructed, but in arena,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
definitely
this
good
might
in
be the kind of thing
arena.
you want.
I think
Just
it could
'cause all-
maybe be good in Control Warrior.
Oh yeah, I guess you'll have time.
If that ever comes back. That's the main issue with my sentence.
Yeah, rip Justicar.
Oh, that's sad. Alright, the Marsh Queen. Play 7 1-cost minions. You get a 5-mana 8/8. That battle cry puts 15 raptors into your deck.
Oh my god, they're 1-mana 3/2s with Battlecry draw a card?
They are quite spicy, especially with
What?
that 5-mana 3/5. Which you'd probably be
man.
playing if you're trying to pull this quest off. So I think
Yeah.
this card's actually really good.
That's
I
disgusting.
think
I didn't
Queen
know that
Carnassius is actually one of the better ones.
That's gross. Yeah, I agree. Like we were saying, we just kept saying this entire time about cantrips and how good they are for aggro. And I mean, this is just what a reward.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really great.
Guess there are no 1-mana minions that draw you a card. I guess there's Runic Egg. I don't know how Hunter would get along with Runic Egg.
Probably not very good, but like I think that Hunter, I think you could just play a very aggressive, 1-drop heavy Hunter deck and have this in the deck. It sucks because like you have a deck full of 1-drops and then this is like play me on turn 1, but I think it's fine because the reward is so good. But you have Alley Cat, Fiery Bat, both of those are really good. There's like Timberwolf, that's a good one. So
And then the 5-mana 3/5 should help you finish if like you didn't draw enough of your 1-drops. They'll get them for you.
yeah, definitely. I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it'd be very good. Could help revive Hunter. Tortolon Primalist. Battlecry, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. Seems pretty bad. Maybe good in arena.
Oh yeah, this card, I was looking at it until it looked good and just never did. So I stopped looking at it.
Yeah, if it didn't have random targets, could have been more appealing. Maybe if it also wasn't an 8-mana 5/4, but
So I think it's actually the stats that's the issue because
Yeah.
Random targets is not a big deal if you're picking up a board wiper, you're picking up a you draw a card kind of thing.
you do get to discover. Yeah.
So I think that like you can mostly sidestep that, but I think that 8-mana 5/4 is just inexcusable.
Yeah, if it were like a 7/8, this card would
Yeah.
be good. It'd be a good fucking
We'd be in
card.
business. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really his body. It's just poopsie.
Yep.
Stegodon. 4-mana 2/6 taunt, and it is a beast.
Arena?
Interesting, definitely good in arena. Probably not good enough for standard.
Yep.
Spike Ridged Steed. 6-mana, give minion +2/+6. And taunt. When it dies, summon a 2/6 taunt.
You get your butt.
Card's pretty solid. I
think so,
in
too.
a mid-range deck, this is like really good because it makes your threat really hard to kill against control, and it gives you this great taunter against aggro.
Yeah.
So it's always good against your opponent.
So I think that this card gets a lot better if you see cards like Hex not being used as much. So like if Shaman fades to obscurity, which I mean they're losing a lot of good stuff, then this card gets a lot better. But if your opponents just have easy answers to it, I mean Priest is still around with Shadow or Death, then it could be worse. But still, the fact that your creature dies into something is always really good, and it dies into something very relevant. 2/6 taunt is relevant.
It's not a 1/2 taunt. It's a 2/6 taunt.
Yeah.
That's insane. Plus, you don't need to play this on a big minion. You play this on your Silverhand recruit, you get a 3/7 taunt.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the card. You can actually try and play around Shadow or Death and Pain potentially.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess if any class, because normally this has a setup cost of requiring a minion, but if any class cares the least about that, it's Paladin, because they just get those for free.
Imagine 2 mana. The 2 mana 2/2 mech with Divine Shield and then playing this on it.
Oh, rip.
Ugh, it's fearsome. Alright. Cornered Sentry. Oh, the other Dirty Rat. I really like this card, actually, because you can immediately, play Whirlwind.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, or the 3/3 Whirlwind.
Yeah, the Ghoul, which is a great card. I think this card's really interesting. And this kind of minion, a big health minion, is always, a potential way to make combos with Battle Rage work, which I think are really fun.
Yeah, I think that this is good. I think Warrior got some kind of reward for taunting cards in the last set. Yeah, Stolen Goods. Give a random taunt minion in your hand +3/+3.
This would be much better with that card than that 07 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like this card a lot.
I think it's cool.
Glacial Shard. 1 mana 2/1. Battlecry, freeze an enemy.
I like this guy.
Me too.
Yeah. When I was looking at ones for Paladin, this guy stood out to me because it's a big tempo play. This has, in the early turns, just being able to trade before your opponent kills your good trade away is a really big deal, and this will help to secure that more often.
Yeah, and it can be just automatically relevant against Druid and Rogue.
Yeah, and I mean, in later stages of the game, freezing an enemy can buy you a turn. So, this could be decent.
The other thing, which I think is a reason why it will definitely see some play, is this an elemental, 1 mana elemental.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's great for triggering your elemental, or how many elementals did you play last turn. Playing a bunch of things that freeze your guys for 1 mana is a great way to set up for the next turn,
Definitely.
King Mosh. 9 mana, 9/7, Battlecry, destroy all damage minions. If you pay 1 in Whirlwind and then you play this, it's gonna kill everything. You're gonna have a 9/7. It's pretty good.
9/7. Having a 9/7 on an empty board is really strong, but Christmas Land.
Yeah, it really would just be Whirlwind. It really depends on how much you can, do what I said. You can do Equality Pyro.
Yeah.
And Equality Consecration. If you can expect to be playing Emperor Thaurissan, maybe this card would be worth it.
Well, isn't Thaurissan rotating? I guess I'm wild.
Then never mind, I forgot about that. I'm gonna make that mistake a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand.
But the Curator will be around, so another Curator option.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, the fact that getting this off of Curator is nice. Getting these kinds of utility cards, even if they're niche, if you can just kind of draw them with another card for free, that's really awesome.
Especially in this case, huge.
Yeah.
Follow-up Curator.
Yeah, even if he just kills one of your opponent's guys, or one of your opponent's guys and one of your guys, if you set it up correctly, this could be really backbreaking for them. It could just be execute, and that's insane. execute on a 9/7. I mean, it costs 9, so it's not going to be there like when you need it. You're going to need to be playing it in the late game, and then that sort of reduces the number of situations where this will be relevant. But also 9 in the late game is pretty much when you need to play 9/7. So
Yep.
it's good.
It's definitely not one of the. It's one on the lower end of the legendaries probably, but I think
Yeah.
could have some play to it.
Yeah.
Raptor Hatchling. So this is a card that sort of came out before. 1 mana,
Ugh.
2/1 Death Rattle. Summon a 4/3, or no, don't summon the 4/3. Put a 4/3 Raptor in your deck. This is definitely gonna be fueling that quest.
I
And
hope
it's insane with that 5 mana 3/5.
I hope that this has a nice voice clip when it comes into play because we'll be fucking hearing it a lot.
You're right. This is like the new small time probably.
This card's we're gonna hear this a lot.
It reminds me of Bagon, which makes me feel better.
Bagon?
Yeah, isn't that the name of the first evolution of?
Oh yeah,
Balance?
yes, yeah. It sounded familiar. Yeah, that's absolutely what that is.
Or the baby T-Rex from Land Before Time once again. Alright, Crackling Razor Maw. Card seems pretty sweet.
I think this is insane.
Especially if you have 1-drop, which
They're
it seems like you will.
I mean, Hunter after this set comes out will have Fiery Bat. Yeah, they'll have Fiery Bat, Alley Cat, and then that Raptor. I mean,
Fiery
those
Bat,
are
Alley Cat.
yeah, dude. I mean, cats, bats, and raptors. You don't actually need anything else. But then you play this, which is like a reasonably statted minion that like could just give one of your Alley Cats 3 attack or like Divine Shield. You know, that's awesome.
I think Adapt on a 1 mana minion is like one of the best deals you ever get, because you could get the Death Rattle summon to 1/1s.
Yeah, that's gross. This card is so good. I think this card's very, very strong.
And yeah, like if we call the Murloc from before 3 mana 3/2 reasonably statted, this guy is unreal statted.
Yes.
I think 2 mana 3/2 is like spicy. This card seems really dangerous, and also late game you could potentially just be like, I'll adapt my Savannah High main. Oh, I got Wind Fury.
Yeah.
Like you could just like, get there randomly. I'm pretty sure you can give Taunt.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a 2 mana way to do what Houndmaster does. I think this card has a lot to it. It has a lot of play to it. It's not gonna just feel like a luck card.
Yes. I think that there's
it's
a lot.
great with those 1-drops.
This is another card I think we'll be seeing a lot. It has all the makings of a good card. It doesn't sacrifice any stats. Its stats are passable. It has a battle cry, so it comes into play, and even if it dies as soon as it can, it's going to do something. What it does is good at all stages of the game, and it's flexible. There's just everything that you want in a card.
Yeah, and what it does scales with the game, because what it does scales with your minions.
Absolutely. Very, very powerful.
Like, so turn 1 quest coin Alley Cat. Turn 2 this guy. Like, if they have a minion, you can get the poison and just have a 1/1 poison thing kill their guy. You can get the Death Rattle effect. You can get the +3/+0.
Yeah, you could just start getting there if they're just like playing something derpy like Priest. Gesundheit.
Even just +1/+1, then this card is just shitting all over Elvish Champion.
Yeah.
The 3 mana 3/2 that gives +1/+1. That is the beast. So
yeah, right.
I like this card a lot.
Me too. This is insane.
Thunder Lizard, 3 mana 3/3. If you play an elemental last turn, adapt. It's a beast. Very interesting. Another really cool incentive for elementals. I think the card's really good, actually.
Yeah, I think it's strong. Again, it's sort of reasonably statted, and it has an effect that can be potentially very powerful.
It's another way to sort of fill in your deck as you're maybe trying to make an elemental deck. You're like, oh, I have my 4 slot filled with that 3/5 Divine Shield taunt.
Yeah.
But I need to do things earlier. I need bodies. I have all these spells that give me elementals. This could be your body. He could be You know, he can have taunt. He can be 3 mana 3/3 divine shield, which is nasty. He could have stealth. But he's not amazing.
Hmm.
He'd be better if Bran was around.
I don't think he's as good as the card that we just reviewed before him.
Yeah. Light Fuse Stegodon. 4 mana 3/4 Battlecry. Adapt your Silverhand recruits. This card might actually be insane.
I mean, Muster for Battle's a good card.
Oh my god. Well, I think actually the 1 mana card, if the 1 mana card that gives you 2 guys is going to be good, it's going to be using this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you play that, then you hero power, then you muster, then you play this guy and just win the game.
I don't want to think about this card of Muster for Battle.
That's really gross.
I just like saw my own genitalia off while they're picking for each of their minions.
It's so good.
I think this card's great, and it's a beast.
Yeah.
I love all of these creature types.
Me too. I mean, it's flavorful and it's mechanical. That's just such a win. They're so good.
Terror Scale Stalker. Hunter, 3 mana, 3/3 Battlecry. Trigger for any minions, Death Rattle. It's okay. It's like,
Yeah, I think it's.
I'd rather play the Raptor, honestly, in Rogue.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly amazing. I think it's looking like this is a little too dirtily for the Hunter deck that's sort of shaping up, but who knows? Could end up being good.
It could.
Yo.
Yeah, what's up, Josh? I just replaced John with Josh.
Actually, hold on 1 second. I'm not going to disappear forever, but I'm going to disappear temporarily.
That's acceptable. How are you doing, Josh?
Tired. I should be asleep, but I can't sleep.
Oh, I'm helping Evan do a stream.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Worst
Worst
Travis
Travis
season review cards.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
What?
just
My head didn't
messaging
collapse?
John that he can rejoin us at any point. Right now, let me give you your card. This is the URL I'm using, and we're up to Terror Scale Stalker. Just probably about halfway in.
Okay. Oh my
I'm not. That link might actually bring you directly to it. But if it doesn't,
I wish I had known about this
name of
like,
card is Terror Scale
at my
Stalker.
last ED shift because I actually had a patient who had like disruption in
Oh. Card seems actually
and, like
really
her
good.
arms are twitching.
I think it's pretty absurd, actually. The amount of combos you can roll with this card is really strong. One of the
Terror Scale
cards.
Stalker.
Yeah,
Like, I think it's okay. I don't think it's that good.
I think it's actually really good because like a 3 mana 3/3 is an all right minion. But the ability to like trigger death rattles is not. You shouldn't overlook that. Like there are a lot of things that can make it very good. Like 3 mana 3/3 trigger Savannah Highmane's death rattle seems really good.
I suppose that it does sort of go along with some of the minions that they would try to ignore. But I still don't think it's particularly good.
Which card?
The 3 mana 3/3 Terror Scale Stalker.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's not that good.
So the next card's Hemet Jungle Hunter. So this card's interesting. I think it's mostly bad. Do either of you have an idea how to make this card good? It's neutral, so you can play it in anything. I know.
Can't-
Yeah, it's so I think the issue with this kind of card is that like again in a control deck, a slow deck that has powerful big things, you might be going to fatigue, so doing this is dangerous. In a mid-range deck, you still have good 1, 2, and 3s, and like a lot of the best removal is 3 or less. So
Yeah, your
Yeah.
interaction's typically 3 or less, so
Card just
Yeah.
seems to be bad.
yeah, I think it's
Not a
a
fan.
unique and cool effect, but ugh.
Servant of Kalimos. Battlecry played an elemental last turn. You can discover an elemental, sort of like Draconid Operative for elementals. It's neutral. Card seems good.
Yeah.
It's not
Seems-
insane, but I think it could play into the mid-range style these elemental cards seem to be taking.
Cantrips are good.
I think it's a strict downgrade from a card like Draconid Operative.
I'll agree
Just
there.
because
Oh, well,
it-
yeah.
it doesn't allow you to be able to have interacted last turn if you're tapping out to play an elemental and then turn 5 play this. Like it's really hard to impact the board in like 2 consecutive or not impact the board for 2 consecutive turns. And I feel like this definitely doesn't impact the board tremendously.
Yeah, it's below the curve rather than like above it, like Draconid Operative.
Yeah. Operatives.
Also, the 5-minute slots, and I guess you can tie 5 and 6 together usually. The 5 and 6 minute slots are very powerful cards, and this just does not do a lot for me.
I don't think 5 is too super powerful.
As Drake
In
is
some
leaving.
classes. Yeah, Azure Drake is gone.
So that might give that card a bit more play. But you know, you could play a Chillwind Yeti for 4 mana, so
Yeah.
it sort of is lacking in the tempo area. The next card, Blaze Caller. If you play an elemental last turn, deal 5 damage. This is not lacking in the tempo area.
No,
This card actually seems really good.
It seems strong.
I give it like a 7 out of 11.
I
Pretty
think
strong.
that it's actually pretty sweet. I think this is going to be one of the cards that really draws people to ultimately be playing elementals.
Yeah, I mean it's not the be all end all of elementals, but it's like one of those like 5th, 6th cards into the deck where you're really happy to be playing these. It reminds me a lot of like a fire elemental,
Yeah.
but with a lot more upside. It's just, to me, if you compare this to fire elemental, if you're triggering battle cry 80-90% of the time, this is just better than fire elemental in my opinion.
I'll give
But
that.
you can even play fire elemental into this, which is ridiculous.
You shouldn't do that. That's not fair.
That's
That's
not.
rude. You're gonna
That's
go to
not.
hell if
Yeah.
you do that.
It's sinning. Yeah, I do think that this card's insane. 5 damage is a whole lot of damage.
And it's a
And,
6/6, which is pretty
Yeah,
relevant.
maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just think that
Huh?
when you play this, it's going to be such a tempo swing that's going to be enough to carry you through the late game a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yes,
agree.
sir.
That's very strong.
Hey, baby. Love you. So the Ravenous Pterodax. Another beast for warlocks.
I think this card's actually
interesting.
really good.
Think so?
The reason why is that it reminds me a lot of the Devour mechanic from Magic. But there's so many good cards that you want to die, something like Loot Hoarder or something similar where you want them to die. This card reminds me a lot of that. And even cards like the Imp Gang boss or whatever that creates 1/1s, like this is something that could take advantage of some sort of token generation strategy. And I think 4/4 is not bad, but when you're adapting, it can lead to some very degenerate things.
Yeah, adapting twice is pretty strong.
I think in something like Wild, so 4/4/4/4 is still acceptable in an aggro deck, and you have cards like Nerubian Egg or Haunted Creeper that you could blow up, and then you're actually just like it's pure upside.
Yeah, that's insane with the Rubian Egg.
Yeah, and there's a Nerubian Egg-like card in this set. I don't think it's nearly as good, but this is.
There's also the Phoenix.
Oh, Pyros, yeah.
The next
That's-
card is Evolving Spores. This is 4 mana. Your minions do shrooms and they all adapt.
Nope. Terrible.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good either.
Yeah.
Anything that
I'd rather
requires
Savage Roar.
anything that requires you having a ton of setup to make good is a really bad card typically.
unless it does something like insane immediately, like win.
So
Yeah.
the next card is the Last Kaleidosaur, which is the Paladin quest. So you gotta cast 6 spells on your minions, which isn't that hard, but it's not usually that great.
Yeah.
But the reward is insane. Galvadon is nasty.
It's a cool name.
It's a 5
But-
mana. Do you know what it does?
Tap 5 times.
Reading it now, it's disgusting.
It's like unreal, actually.
It's pretty good, but it is susceptible to removal. So that's always something to keep in mind. Is
Unless
that it
you
is
get stealth
unless it's
out
not.
of one of those 5,
Or the untargetable.
or that, or divine
that's
shield.
true.
Yeah. So it's susceptible to removal, except that it's not.
Yeah.
It's susceptible to twisting nether.
So you can really, it's cool because you can sort of reliably count on giving it at least a little bit of attack, wind fury, and protection. It's one of the few
Yeah.
things you have a relatively good chance of getting to attack twice with, besides Alakir.
I'm trying to think, what good paladin spells buff your own minions?
Well, Blessing of Wisdom is definitely one of the main ones.
Blessing of
Is-
Kings, Blessing of Might.
Blessing of Wisdom will just cycle, but yeah, those are also options. You can also
Yeah.
just like Forbidden Healing your minion.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's a good point. There is actually adaptation in this set. That's cool.
Seal of Champions is pretty good.
There's also
That's
the
true.
6 mana one we saw before that gives Taunt,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is really good. So that would work with this. Spirit Echo. Give your minions Death Rattle, return this to your hand. Kind of seems bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really isn't the greatest.
They're not blowing up into Trents. That's way better.
Yeah,
and
when you have
Echo
to
of
replay
Medivh
them,
is never
it's-
good.
Echo Medivh, I think I saw a little bit of play, but not. It was like not a lot.
Giants. Only in Giants.
Yeah. I mean the card that gives stuff Death Rattle Summon Trents, he's playing Eggs, Druid, and Wild, but like this brings them to your hand, which is way worse.
This could maybe be good in Arena, maybe. Like, but
Oh,
there's a
it's
lot of
definitely
cards
good in
you'd
Arena.
prefer.
I think it's really good in Arena.
I guess that's
Yeah.
where this card would shine. Next card, Stampede, 1 mana. Whenever you play a beast this turn, add a random beast to your hand.
Lock and load.
Yeah, it's alright. It's nothing over the top.
I prefer Lock and Load.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I mean, with it seems like kind of a win more type card, but maybe I'm underestimating it.
If
Yeah, it
it's gonna work,
definitely is
it'd
a
be
win
with a heavy 1-drop deck.
Yeah. I mean, after you get that quest to go off, this is insane, but like you don't need any help once you get that quest to go off.
You already have a Stampede, you don't need one in your deck.
Yeah.
Steam Sugar. Nope. Steam Surger. Another
I like
4
Steam
mana
Sugar
5/4. I'll give you some sugar. I'll steam it first because
Well-
I work at a coffee
Don't
shop.
tempt me.
Steam Surger. If you play an elemental last turn, add a Flame Guys to your hand, which is the 2 mana, 2 damage. Add a 1/2 to your hand. So this card seems pretty awesome. For
I think it's
Elemental
integral
Mage.
to the elementals.
What's that?
I think it's integral for a lot of the elemental themes.
I think this is a very strong card.
Yeah.
Because it adds another elemental to your hand for cheap that you can play to trigger the effects of another elemental.
Yeah,
That
you
is
can
true.
sort of do the 3, 4, 5, 6, roll them up, stick them out, chew it, and spit it out deal.
Nut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. So yeah, this guy sort of seems like, he's like the goblin was in mechs.
Yeah.
He's just gonna really tie the room together. Pterodax Hatchling. Battlecry
Terrible
Adapt.
hatchling.
Pterobad Hatchling.
Look at that fucking art.
A face only a mother could adapt into loving.
You would know all about that, wouldn't you?
Speaking of Sage
It's-
Meshadons, there's one right here.
Its mouth looks like a very wide open vagina.
This looks like the thing from that Super Mario 64 level you had to ride around. Remember?
I
No.
do. I heard that
Which
you can get
level?
it to eat you, but I never managed to get it to do that.
That's what she said.
I think it's really good, and it's an example of one of the awesome top-end cards they added for Arena.
Oh, it's great in Arena. I would love this card. It's like solid, can like chunk out creatures on the board, and it's when it dies, it's leaves residual shit to deal with.
Oh yeah.
And they're
Standard
Murlocs,
fish
which
mod.
is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Giant Mastodon. This is another
Oh.
like I think this is a good Arena card. This thing is huge.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at this thing. It's like from Ice Age, right? It's Ray Romano.
Hell yeah, dude.
If he's a
This
6/10.
reminds me. This reminds me a lot of Crawworm from Magic the Gathering, but way better in terms
Yeah.
of toughness.
Mm.
Dude, this thing is like I really like this card. Alright, Rockpool Hunter. I really like this card.
Oh, yeah.
think it's got a lot of good synergy with a lot of the Murloc decks.
I think it's got some of the best because it gives you this immediate reward tempo-wise for having a Murloc out. I think that's way more what you want than discovering a Murloc. As much as that 3/2 might be good, I think this is the kind of card Murlocs has always wanted.
Well, yeah, think of like Merfolk in Magic, where you want to be pumping creatures that already exist on the board. You don't want to just be filling your hand with more.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be putting up pressure with what you have, and this definitely helps you do that.
Yeah. It's nice that the part of its stats are just like they're gonna have charge. That's really nice.
Yeah, I think if Murlocs are a thing, this is like gonna be critical to it.
Integral.
Yeah, we're seeing some power creep here. That's really strong. There's a lot of really good 2-mana minions we're looking at.
Vicious Fledgling, 3 mana, 3/3. After the attacks, a hero adapt.
This art, man.
This pink pterodactyl seems pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a fan.
No, I'll pass on the
3
vicious
mana,
fledgling.
3/3 do nothing is just yeah.
Egg Napper.
Oh man.
3 mana, 3/1. Death Rattle sent to 1/1 Raptors. Should I believe
that
a
Raphael?
beast? Raphaelina.
It would be pizza.
Cards okay, I guess.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
It is.
Emerald
Yeah.
Hive Queen. 1 mana for 2/3 beast. Your pinions. Your minions cost 2 more. What do you guys think of this guy?
Good if the meta is aggro heavy and you want to play control.
Bart, what do you think?
Bad if it's mid range.
I think that's probably pretty accurate. I mean, it's overstated, which is nice if you have a lot of options for 1-drops or just a lot of other cards in your hand, and you can sort of play this in the right order. It's good. It's nice if you can reliably kill it when you want it to die, but have it do something.
This card seems really good for like Reno Mage.
I was about to say
Oh,
Mage.
yeah, yeah.
Mage is the main class that this
Mage
may
doesn't
work with.
Mage doesn't do fucking anything that isn't reactive. So yeah, this is a great card for that kind of deck.
And it's a beast.
Pretty good.
Bitter Tide Hydra. Whenever this minion takes damage, deal 3 damage to your hero. 5 mana, 8/8. Seems too slow for standard.
Yeah, arena maybe.
It's a strong arena card, but like it's something that you don't want against like mages or anything that can just like ping this for
Ping it.
1 and machine gun you.
Bouncing Blade.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's nightmarish. You just get 30'd.
Charge Devilsaur. I like this card.
I think it's cool.
I think it's great utility. I think it's going to be on the lower end of standard where it's going to see fringe play potentially, or just no play at all. But in arena, it's great.
So we keep saying it's a beast, and that's nice because curator. But like, there's so many other good beast options that we've seen so far that I don't know if that's enough to make this like. If it was this or Stampeding Kodo, I think it would see more play. But there's better than that.
Well, I was gonna actually say that I think this is one of the best, if not the best, neutral top end one we saw. Another good one we saw was the 5/6 for 7 that adapts twice.
Yes.
I think this might be better. This is like an immediately you kill something, and you might kill another thing. If you have a silence, you could. Wait, no, then you can't attack them. So silence is irrelevant. But I think it's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good card.
I think it's better than that other beast for control deck that's looking to use Curator.
Yeah, if they don't have a class-specific option.
Mm.
Bright-Eyed Scout.
Nope.
4-mana 3 with drawing card, taking life. Seems bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like just bad. Nesting Rock. You know, these two of them in the game taunt. Could be pretty good.
Definitely an all-star in Arena.
Yeah.
Or Construct playable. I'm not seeing it.
Nope. Just a big ask. 2 other minions.
It's just another beast competitor, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Emerald Reaver.
Oh, yes.
Doing that each hero.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess it's a little bit like Leper Gnome, but like fair.
This card's a beating, in my opinion.
There's a priest card that deals 3 to each hero, right? 1 mana,
Yeah.
2/1. This card seems really bad.
I actually really
Oh
like
my
this
god,
card. I
the
think
art
it's
on this
great.
card. Ultrasaur.
That neck.
That's it.
That's it.
I would like to play this in Arena. I think the 6/10 is better, but I don't think this is terrible.
What is up with his neck? What is that face?
I know, isn't
That-
it great?
If I imagine just waking up and seeing that, it's like
Got a
right in
face
front of
for
your
radio.
face.
It's just like across the room and just leaning over your face. All right, I can't deal with that. I need to look at the next card.
Next card. It's that
Oh,
other
man.
character from Ice Age. The one that Dennis Leary plays.
Bring up your Hellfires.
Wow. So yeah, this guy is sort of like, do you have it, or do you not?
I mean, Ravenhold Assassin's not a good card. I think this is better, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
I much prefer the 4/2 stealth, 3-mana 4/2 stealth over this guy.
Yeah.
Just because for 6 mana you want to be doing something a lot more powerful than just playing a big dumb idiot that's stealth and dies to like a lot of random shit.
Yeah, I'd
What
rather just
about-
play Reckless Rocketeer.
What about this next
Oh,
card?
sure.
Humongous Razor Leaf. I
pretty
love
humongous.
this card.
Purify?
I
Purify OP?
love this card.
I think it's all right. It's definitely going to be a card that people are going to like try to force, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough to be a contender at the top tier.
I think that there's a lot to be said about it. I think that you're right. But one card's really good with his faceless.
Manipulator?
No.
Or
Shambler.
Faceless Shambler.
Yeah, it's insane with that. And just even Defender of Argus and the 2/3. That gives the taunt.
Sun Fury Protector?
Yeah, this could just be a way to do handlock, or maybe some other kind of taunt deck. I think it's a really fun, cool card, and I'm glad that they're making more cards like this because I like the strategy.
Mm.
Vine Cleaver. Action attack says it. It's actually interesting.
I think it's way too expensive.
This is a Paladin card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's too slow, right?
Yeah, I mean, historically, like, very, very expensive weapons haven't really worked except for Gorehowl, but Gorehowl can kill pretty much anything the turn you play it because it's, 7 mana, has, like, 7 attack. So this can't do that. And also, at the point where you're able to afford a 7 mana card, those 1/1s are just, like, pretty irrelevant. So I think that this just doesn't have enough. It's, like, too weak a weapon to be good when you're playing it, and its upside is a little too weak when you're playing it, so I don't think it's actually good. Maybe in Arena.
Yeah.